Sunday marks the 15th anniversary of 9/11, and in the years since, more than 300 men and women from Michigan have died in wars. They were supposed to be remembered in a $400,000 bronze memorial planned for Grand Rapids. But today, there's no bronze, only clay collecting dust. Target 8 has learned tonight the state has launched an investigation into the man behind the memorial, a former Army National Guard recruiter. Target 8 investigator Ken Kolker is here tonight with this story. Ken?
Brian, among those who donated to the Michigan Fallen Warrior Memorial are the families of soldiers who were supposed to be honored.
It's Tim's dog tag. It's a short tag. They always have two. And when they come up upon a dead soldier, they take the short one.
It's not that he needs anything to remember his son, Specialist Timothy Brown of Cedar Springs, or his sacrifice, killed by a roadside bomb while serving in Iraq.
He was killed November 4th, 2005.
Not far away in Grand Rapids, Sandy Vollmer has set up her own memorial in her home.
That's his flag that was draping his casket.
For her son, Sergeant Chad Vollmer, killed in December 2006 by an improvised explosive device in Iraq.
Nobody wants their child forgotten, and especially when they're out there fighting for our freedoms.
Specialist Brown and Sergeant Vollmer were supposed to be a big part of the memorial, along with fallen soldier Dane Carver of Freeport, their faces used on the three statues. All were from the Michigan Army National Guard 125th Infantry Regiment.
He always wanted to be in the military ever since he was a little kid.
Their families say they have donated thousands to the memorial fund, but now they're wondering where that money went and what happened to the project.
Not just us, but a lot of people that had their faith in this, that were excited about this.
An anonymous tip led Target 8 to investigate the memorial fund. And through the Freedom of Information Act, we learn that the Michigan Attorney General's office also is investigating. Records show the memorial fund was headed by Joe Lewandowski, a former Michigan Army National Guard sergeant who recruited Brown and Vollmer. Late last month, the AG demanded that Lewandowski provide records to account for the money taken in and spent by the nonprofit fund. Records show Lewandowski, who was retired from the National Guard, created the nonprofit in 2011, but hasn't filed required paperwork with the state. IRS records show he has not filed tax documents required for nonprofits.
This is Timothy, and this is Dane, and this is Chad.
Grand Rapids artist Mick Carlson said he was recruited 4 years ago to sculpt the statues, building them out of metal forms, styrofoam, and clay. He planned to use the clay statues to create molds, then cast them in bronze.
The money's run out a long time ago.
The unfinished statues are collecting cobwebs in his studio. Is it hard to look up at that face and knowing this is not getting finished? You know?
Yeah, very hard, yeah. Especially because of the families.
Yeah. He says he doesn't believe there was any wrongdoing.
Nothing that I know of has been misused.
But he says he has not been able to reach Lewandowski for answers.
Come on, Joe, what's going on? And so I call him, and he doesn't return my phone calls. And what's going on? Are you raising money? Are you doing anything? Well, I stopped trying to get a hold of him now about 8 months ago, 6 to 8 months ago.
A post by Lewandowski on the Michigan Fallen Warrior Memorial Facebook page shows he had raised $80,000 by late 2012. The artist told Target 8 that he has spent about $65,000, most on the statues, some when he entered them into Art Prize several years ago. Most, he says, came from the memorial fund, but he says he had raised some money on his own and has spent some of his own money. The Vollmers say they have also tried repeatedly to reach Lewandowski.
You only bang your head on the wall so many times.
She and Vollmer's father say they have donated up to $5,000, giving money to the fund instead of buying Christmas gifts.
We've tried to support it the best we could, and all of a sudden there was, nobody around.
The Browns say they also raise thousands through golf outings and helping at 5K runs.
We were going to town and all of a sudden, just nothing.
Their son's name already is on a memorial in Cedar Springs.
This wasn't just ended up being about these three soldiers. It was about honoring all Michigan fallen. So to me, that's important. I really thought that these were done. And maybe that's where all the money went for that. So the fact that they still look like that, I think, is really sad.
And collecting dust.
The soldiers' families say they still hope that somehow the memorial can be finished.
I'd like to see it in my lifetime, but I don't know now.
I've come to the realization that I don't think it's going to happen before we're probably been around.
Now, Lewandowski refused to go on camera, but we reached him by phone. He denied any wrongdoing, but acknowledges he doesn't know exactly how much money was raised or spent. He says his intentions were good, but that he couldn't get help keeping the books. Now, the state has given Lewandowski until tomorrow to submit financial records, but he says he's meeting with an accountant tomorrow and won't make that deadline.
Obviously, the families are frustrated, Kim, but is there any chance that this memorial might be finished?
Well, Lewandowski in our telephone call said that he would really still like to, resurrect this. And the artist really wants to get this finished. And obviously, I mean, it's very important to those families.
Right. Absolutely.
You'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt, but boy, do your hearts go out to those families.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Thank you, Ken.